And as we make our way through Isaiah, you'll see this theme emerge, especially the later chapters of Isaiah. In particular, it's clear that Isaiah is portraying the blessing of God, the kingdom of God, coming first to the people of Israel and then extending out to the nations. That eventually all who place their trust in God through Jesus Christ will be welcomed into this final future kingdom, in this final feast. So you got to come hungry. Look at verse 7. He says, in that day, what reality will we experience? Well, Isaiah's words explode off the page. He says, he will swallow up on this mountain the covering that is cast over all peoples, the veil that is spread over all nations. Now, if you remember back to Isaiah 9, we read that God's people were what? They were walking in darkness. But here Isaiah says, in that final day, in that final time, what's God going to do? He's going to eat darkness. He's going to swallow up the covering and the veil which is over all people and all nations. The darkness will be gone and they will finally see. Church, that's going to be a good day. And then what's the result? In verse 8, he says, he will swallow up death forever. And the Lord will wipe away tears from all faces. And the reproach of his people he will take away from all the earth. For the Lord has spoken. So he says, on that day, God's going to eat death. He's going to devour it. It's going to be no more. And Paul, of course, famously echoes those words in 1 Corinthians 15. That on that day, God's going to wipe away tears from your face like a good father wiping away the tears from his children when they're crying. Now, I've mentioned before, I have 3 children, and they love to cry. In fact, sometimes they cry, and last night as I was finishing this, they were crying, and they go to their mother, and they cry, and she says, go tell your father. Now, my kids are still small, and when they come to me, they're crying, and the tears are streaming down their face from their eyes, and because they're hurt, or they're disappointed, or they're in pain, I have one of 2 actions that I can usually take. The first one is they might climb in my lap, and I hold them as I bring them comfort. Or second, this is the second action, I could go and I could get on my knees down at their level, and I could take my hands and just wipe the tears off their little eyes as they cry, and then bring them close. And I can say, it's okay. Daddy loves you. And that's the picture that Isaiah is giving us here, that on the last day, He's going to tenderly wipe away your tears and say, it's okay, at this feast on the mountain.